Okay, question. Was the giving of the Spirit to all believers something new that happened only in conjunction with the new covenant? And what is the significance of this happening on Shavuot? This is an excellent question. Now, the question goes on. Should I read the whole question, or do we want to respond there? We've actually talked about this on our show before. We have talked about this on our show before. And
it's a good question because we're in the season of counting the Omer.
Right.
And we could probably touch on this. I know next week we kind of have a giant book review kind of set apart. So, and Shavuot's just right around the corner. So this is a good day maybe to dive into that a little bit.
Okay. I'll go first.
Okay.
We've talked about this many times on our show, actually, maybe 3 or 4 times. And my father's written an excellent article called "Spirituality: Are We Better Off Now?" That can be found on TorahResource, but it's also it's linked in your show notes. So anyone who gets our show notes, you can find it there. Basically, the way that I understand the giving of the Spirit at Shavuot, first of all, it's traditional, and I think it can be proven from the Torah text that the Torah itself was given on Shavuot. And this is the celebration. This is one of the main celebrations that we have. It also links our justification, that is our redemption out of slavery. It also links that redemption to sanctification, which is the keeping of the covenant, which was given at Sinai. And so, what is the new covenant? The new covenant is the Torah actually being written on the heart. And this is, I think, one of the main reasons that the Spirit was given or shown to be given to the nations on Shavuot. What happened to the apostles when the Spirit was given? And perhaps a better question is, was the Spirit present in believers of the coming Messiah before the Messiah came? And my answer to that is yes, it was. What's the difference? The difference is that the Spirit enabled people and prepared the hearts of the nations to receive the Messiah. Whereas before, it was really an attempt to, Yeshua comes and he says, I came for the lost sheep of Israel, right? But then all of a sudden the mission somewhat changes. And the Spirit enables the disciples to take the good news of the Messiah and the good news of Torah out to the nations. And so the mission of the apostles now changes to go out to all the nations. That's my understanding. So is there a change? Yes, there is a change, but was there no Spirit before the event in Acts of Shavuot? No, I don't believe that. In fact, I think any believer who believed, even Abraham, right? Abraham longed to see my day, and he saw it, right? Abraham was filled with the Holy Spirit and had the Holy Spirit. And I believe everyone who believed in the coming Messiah before, and that he would deal with the sin of mankind and deal with the serpent, was in fact filled with the Holy Spirit. That's what I think the difference is. It's just a changing of focus from Israel to the nations. Thoughts?
Yeah. No, there's so much. We could spend a whole show talking about this. But another hint is what happens on Shavuot is that there's 2 loaves of bread baked. And that bread is made from grain that's gathered from all throughout the land, is brought together.
Right.
And they bring new grain, right? They bring new grain from all the dwelling places. So the idea is all throughout the land, new grain is brought to Jerusalem and mixed together and made into loaves. So you have grain coming from all over the land and baked into these 2 loaves. Whereas the beginning of the counting of the omer, it was just an omer from local grain, right? That was representative of the harvest to come. But here you have actual grain taken. So it's kind of like this ingathering of the corners of the world kind of coming together
right
in Jerusalem and as one loaf, right? As one body.
Right.
But yeah, good stuff. Caleb, your point about how we need to see the spring feasts as tied together. They're not on separate tracks, connected just by the weekly Shabbat. That it's clear that, and I know this is a disputed area, is how do we count the Omer? But I think it's really key that we do see Shavuot and Pesach
connected
as and the counting the Omer in between as a whole message.
Don't miss any clips from Messiah Matters by clicking the subscribe button. Also, give this video a thumbs up and share it so other people can see it too.